Hey y'all. Do you know what day it is? What day it is today? It is Friday. That means it's viewer level time. Lord Bowser, I see Lord Bowser, I see Moyako, I see Highway. Lord Bowser talking about how he's locked out of his account right now. That explains his original account. That explains the Lord Bowser 16. I was wondering about that yesterday. I saw the follow mention it on stream, and I was kind of curious. That explains it. That explains it. I'm not gonna worry about it either way, whatever the case is. Let's just hang out, chill, and relax and shit. It's Friday. It's the weekend, and I am pleased as fuck. I am happy. It is a weekend. It's been a long week. I feel like I'm ready for just some relaxing shit. You know, weekend stuff. I'm ready for weekend stuff and to not work and all that whole nine. Hell yeah. Just go into the course world for a second here. Couple of things up top I want to touch on, as I do before I get into the viewer levels. Also, you know what? I haven't looked at the notifications since earlier this week. Since at least last time I lost the game was at least was over the weekend. So if you're wondering if I've worked on my level any, no, I haven't found the time. Haven't found the time for that. Unfortunately. Not really. I've done like one thing, and I'll show you that in a minute. A lot of plays and likes. That's very nice. Not gonna look granularly at that. Very nice. I always appreciate anyone playing my levels and anyone leaving likes. That's always great. Hey, did the latest ones get in? How are the latest ones faring? Airdo Nebula version 2, still a very low clear rate. I'm a little worried about that, honestly. Still, maybe just needs to get some numbers. I do believe it's easier than it was originally, but still, it must be difficult to get through that boss, and even with the changes, we might need to make further changes to that. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, couple things. First, wanted to talk about yesterday's Open RCT2 stream. Did some Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Very fun game. I'll say, like, after yesterday's stream, I can see why I didn't get back into it, but on stream last year when I tried it out. When I tried it, I streamed it once last year after getting into it like the year before for like a while. For a couple months, I was like way into Open RCT2. And I'll say, like, it's very good, but holy hell, it is stressful. It's a little bit stressful, a little bit demanding, and especially if you want to, like, hold yourself to, like, doing a scenario in one go, rather than just, like, chipping away at it a little at a time, like I tried to do yesterday. I tried to do it all in one go. You might end up just rushing into a complete mess of a park. Like, holy fuck, my Razor Rocks at the end was a little bit of a clusterfuck as far as paths and queues and rides everywhere. Oh my god, it was so hard to get a path out to the last couple of rides because I had just penned myself in really fucking good. No sense, no order, just madness. I will say though, first we also did some RMC conversions, taking some old wooden coasters and like converting them to RMCs. And I will say I want to show this off again. This is the one that we made, the third one that we made, which turned out, I think, the best of the bunch. It's you're caught up in your YouTube streams, Lord Bowser. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. You can see there's the it's a dueling coaster, sort of not a dueling coaster really, but it does a little bit of dueling. It is a what's the word? It's a what's the word? It's like a I just heard it on a YouTube video. It's the kind where one track that duels goes into the other track that duels. It's technically one roller coaster, but you get like 2 parts, and you sort of duel yourself from the past. That's why it's called Back in Time. It's a Back to the Future themed roller coaster. That's actually it's back to the, it's the RMC version of it, so it's been RMC'd. It is Back in Time Part 2 is what it's called. Anyway, I think this one turned out really well. We had some problems for a while with the synchronization, which turned out my roller coaster was going too damn fast. It was blowing as block zone without, any of the safety stuff. So once that was fixed, the synchronization worked just as good as it did on the original. And I think it turned out really fucking well. I'm really happy with the Back in Time Part 2. I could watch that for ages. Too bad I didn't make a GIF or something that we could actually, watch. That would take, or like a video clip. That would have taken more than 5 minutes, which is how much time I took to prepare this image. Less than. I prepared this image like a few minutes ago before we started, so it would have been nice if I had like ooh, watch it, ooh, isn't that cool? If I had like that whole business. Anyway, I don't know that we'll do that again. It's kind of was like my making streams where it was all business and it was all focused on like, okay, I'm making this roller coaster one step at a time. Where's it going? What are we doing with it? How's it looking? Could it make the course, etc., etc.? I barely got any time to talk about the other shit that was going on, and I did prepare cards for that, which I'm now going to use today, which basically meant I didn't have to prepare any new cards for today's stream, which, hey, that's convenient because, doing a Thursday stream and then a Friday stream and having to prepare, things to talk about can be a little bit, it can end up a little bit light as a result. Long story short, here's what I'm thinking for future Thursday streams. With how stressful Pikmin is, I kind of want something light and airy and something that just turn the brain off and play some video games, I kind of just want to not think. And Open RCT2 is a lot of thinking. Maybe that one's not the stream game for me, though I do like to watch it on YouTube sometimes, and I do find the idea of roller coaster design in Open RCT2 to be really interesting. Maybe I'll still mess around with it a little off stream, but I don't see doing that many more streams of it in the future. Honestly, what I'm really wanting to do right now is I've been thinking about doing some Rivals of Aether, just hanging out and just randomly hitting random on my collection of workshop characters, custom characters from the Steam Workshop. And I got 100 of them. I got hundreds of them that I like and feel good. And we'll just hit random repeatedly. And, you'll get to see a bunch of oh, here's Ronald McDonald. What does Ronald McDonald fight like? And you'll go, oh, that looks neat. And we'll talk about shit and relax. I would say that Rivals of Aether can just be a turn your brain off game and enjoy the workshop characters people have put a lot of work into making feel really good. I'll say it depends on taste. Not every workshop character is to my liking, etc., etc., but I got a bunch that I do like, and maybe I could show them to you just randomly, idly, one of these days. That sounds like the Thursday stream I'm looking for right now, honestly. Second, I am thinking about starting later on Mondays and Thursdays. Maybe not Mondays right now because Pikmin, because I'm doing, all 3 games all at once. And I want to get through one round of that each stream. I do think that's going to take around 5 hours. So starting that at 8 o'clock would be a little bit tight. But for Thursday, I would like to move it back to 8 or something, just because it's easier to, do other things before a stream when it's not at 6 p.m. Central Time. I can eat, I can watch an anime, I can relax a little. Maybe I can even go out and take a walk or something, get in a little exercise before a stream if it's at 8 o'clock rather than 6 o'clock. Maybe that would be good for me in the long term, especially since my sleep schedule is like mostly back on track. Honestly, I could be sleeping a little better at this point. I don't need to I'm not sleepy during stream times. I'm now sleepy at night, though perhaps later at night than I should be, etc., etc. I wanna end streams earlier. I wanna get to the bed. I wanna have enough time to unwind after a stream, but also I wanna have some time before. And getting that good middle ground is difficult. So work in progress, always. New going live alert policy you might have noticed. Congratulations on being in World 8 of my Super World. Yeah, that's right. So going live alerts. You might have noticed that I stopped posting them to Twitter. Decided to stop posting them to Twitter. Seems like an ineffective place for them anyway, and they're probably filtered out all hell, even among the people that I follow me or whatever. I don't think it's a very good place to post stream alerts. Even for big streamers, I would argue that, generally speaking, people are not looking for Twitter for live alerts. They're using other things, most notably Discord. Discord notifications. I feel like, especially those you can opt into, like the one on my Discord. That's the way you people who want notifications can get them. There's also, of course, Twitch notifications. Long story short, I'm gonna not fuck with the Twitter that much. That website is dying. It's kind of dead to me already. The only thing I'm gonna use it for is when I want to post a video of each level that I put out. It's just easier to tweet it than it is to I don't know. I guess I could put up a YouTube video of just a full playthrough of it. That'd be weird. Would I commentate it, or would it be a full playthrough, or would it be a trailer? I'm not sure. I like the format of just, okay, here's a 30-second clip for Twitter to promote the level. I like that format, and I like preparing them. And I think that it's a good way to get the level out there. But I guess maybe also I got a better way right here to get the level out there. Maybe I don't need Twitter at all, actually. I don't know. Definitely. Well, most importantly, don't look for Twitter there. If you're depending on Twitter for the notifications, I would just have going to the old Discord and join in there. I think that's nice. Channel point reward rework. So I want to rework the channel point redemptions a little bit in the future. I have some ideas, but I haven't really pulled the trigger on any of them yet. One thing that would be easy. Basically, I want to pick out some things that don't quite interrupt the flow so much, oh, I could have a thing that's stand up and stretch a little bit. That'd be fine. That wouldn't interrupt the flow of a stream or anything. I want to have one that's maybe one that's a whatchamacallit. I'd like some interactive ones where oh, maybe you do some channel points and something appears on the screen or something. I've seen some other streamers, I've seen some VTubers do. The one I've seen is there's one where VTubers will have a thing that's thrown at their avatar, and I don't know that I can do that as a physical real person. It'd be kind of silly. A polygonal apple would come at me and I have to go I got hit by an apple. That maybe would be a little silly, but I kind of like the idea of that. It costs $15 to buy the thing, to buy the program though. So I would have to, make a small investment and it doesn't work, given that I'm a physical person. If it looks silly, it would look silly, but I don't know. I'd kind of like to fuck with that. Maybe I can make the camera jitter a little bit when the thing happens, and then it would look a little bit convincing. and I would go like, ah, and maybe I could react to it. I don't know, and that's like my main idea right now. I'll say, if anyone has any ideas for like channel point things, I'm open to suggestions. Definitely looking to do that at some point. I've been busy all this week, not done it yet, but it's in the cards. Also, finally, I could do some Marvel Snap sponsored streams. Payout is not guaranteed. It's one of those where they say like, oh, per person you turn on to Marvel Snap, you can get like $4, maybe $8. I'm not sure if I can. Can I say how much money it is? It's not that much money. It's like a maximum of like 100, and it's also like you know. It also has a minimum of 0, so it might not work, but I'll say, I play Marvel Snap every day. It was my number 3 game of last year. I believe in it, and I think I'd be interested in doing that. You know, it's payout not guaranteed, but I feel like I could convince one of y'all to check it out, and, you know, that'd be $4. That's fine, you know? And also, I really like Marvel Snap, and I think y'all should be playing it, so, you know, this is kind of win-win. Also, you know, maybe when I talk about Marvel Snap every now and again, if more y'all played it, it'll mean something to y'all, you know? What do you think? I'm curious if that would be something y'all are interested in, if that'd be something that would be cool. Maybe that'd be what we would do, like, on Thursday, maybe another stream next week as well. Would a sponsored Marvel Snap stream, in parentheses, payout not guaranteed, so maybe we'll get nothing. Would that be cool to y'all? Would y'all be interested in that? And if I did a stream, would any of y'all, like, you know, give it a go? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm looking for feedback and whether I should, you know, hit, okay, let's do it, or whether I should say, ah, no thanks, I'll do my own thing. I'm really curious about that. I'll say again, Marvel Snap, fantastic card battler. Takes about 3 minutes to do a match. It's made by the guy what made Hearthstone. You know, Ben Brode is involved. It's really good. Don't check it out now. Check it out after I do a sponsored stream if you're interested. But, you know, that's on the table. That's in the cards. That's possible. I'm curious what y'all think, what y'all make of it. Finally, let me just show, like, the one thing I figured out as far as this level goes. The new level, which is to be a Link level. So first off, I tried out this thing here where, like, oh, you know, the guy is on a higher ground, you sort of have to attack him with the sword to get up to the higher ground. And the other thing I tried was, I was trying to figure out how to figure out a way to have the sword not fuck up these springs. And, pegs, it turns out you can ground pound, so they're not really... You can do some cheese, but I'll tell you, you can't ground pound these guys. You can't ground pound them. So they're pretty handy for, having these platforms in the first half. And also, it's, you know, a little bit dangerous as well to not land on the spinies. I think that feels kind of cool. And yeah, you can see without Link, it's kind of harder to get up there onto the thing. You can use a missile to do it, and you could also, like, you know, maybe time it out a little bit. Can you time it out? Let me see, can you time this out? Maybe it's just a little too narrow to time it out. Like, to find a window of opportunity to get up there. Okay, with 4 blocks wide, you can totally time it out. Hey, but maybe it's interesting if you can't do that. If you have to do something like, you know... You have to do something like jump on the motherfucker. Oh, you can't time it up. You just have to wait for him to turn around. And to show off the rest of the level setup, the plan is for it to be a moving platform level with a sun, and have the second half be a moving platform. The plan is specifically to transition from a, like, hothead bop style level where you're, you know, jumping from springy platform to springy platform to eventually getting on this springy moving platform and having to manage, you know. I think that seems like a good idea. I think that's going to be the one platform level this super world has. And I think it's a pretty cool one so far, conceptually. It's all rough. It's all brainstorm right now. I'll say asterisk, you know, who knows what it's going to become. You see an enemy here, it doesn't mean it's going to be in the real level. It's just me throwing stuff down, seeing what works, seeing what feels good. And, you know, not everything does. I don't think I've found everything that's going to go into that level. Not yet, not nearly. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of prototyping. And, yeah. My basic log line with that level is, it's going to be like a hothead bop style level, but the hothead bop starts to move in the second half and becomes a platform level while still being the hothead bop. Hothead hop? Crockhead hop? What is that level in DKC2, the first level of World 1? Or World 2, shit, the lava level. Is that... Hothead Bop is the song. Is the name of the song. What's the name of the level? I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be like that. Anyway... That's the upfront stuff. That's the maker update. You know, like I said, a short one. Haven't had time to work on the Mario making this week. I've been pretty busy, pretty loaded with stuff to do and things to work on, etc. It's been a long week, and I'm ready for the weekend. Basically, is where I stand. Let's do the viewer levels. It's viewer level time, folks. Viewer levels of a Mario Maker variety. Let me get the larger UI up and also see the first level. Get that up so I can punch it in. And I'll say, as I always do up top, what the rules are for those who don't know, for those who are curious, for posterity, all that. It's world time, that's right. I'll say what the rules are for those who are interested. The rules are this. For every... If you are here when your level comes up, I give it the full time of day, which is to say 15 minutes plus 5... plus 5... This one, right? Is it this one, or is it, is that the previous one? I think that's the previous one. This is the new one, right? We're doing 1-1, yeah? Yes, okay. 5 tries if that's not... 15 minutes plus 5 last tries if that's not enough. If you're not here, we still do the level, but we do so in very nearly but not quite sudden death. Wherein we only get 2 tries, refreshing at checkpoints from the jump. No timer at all. Just a nice little compromise between prioritizing the people who are here and present and playing more levels, which is, you know, fun. It's fun to play more levels when possible. Alright, let's get that timer up and check out the 1-1 here. I always say that I'm interested in 1-1s. I think I say that because when making my own 1-1, I found it to be, you know, a bit of a contradiction, you know, to make an interesting 1-1. To make a 1-1, it has to be a vanilla level, right? That's basically the main job of a 1-1, to be just an easy level that starts things off and doesn't do anything special, you know? It's the every level. It's kind of essentially basic. And yet, it's also the first level that people play, and the one that, you know, that they play and determine if they play any more. You know, you have to have a really good 1-1 to get people in the door, but also, if it is to be traditional, it can't be too weird. And this is just a very traditional level, I think, you got going, with some interesting little bits of theming, and challenges and all. I almost feel like the thing you did here, Bowser, was to blow it out on theming. You know, add like the pools of water below the stage, all that. Hello, Mr. Patata. How you doing? You couldn't make a third account. You have to make an NSBS2 in this account. Might make it a little longer. Yeah. Again, if anyone wants to give me feedback about whether I should do the thing, you know, the Marvel Snap sponsored stream thing, if y'all would be interested in, you know, checking it out, let me know and I'll, you know, decide on that soonish. Let me go ahead and do the next level. And that was just a maker code, so I don't need to hit complete or nothing. Want to try my level? I'd be happy to do that, Mr. Patata. Go ahead and submit it if you so please. Highway is here. Fantastic. Let me do a card. Do these cards at the starts of levels while I'm punching codes. And I didn't do any of them yesterday pretty much, so I have just a ton prepared to talk about. And to start off, Bofuri Season 2, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense Season 2. I kind of landed at a 4 out of 5 for that, which is a little disappointing considering that the first season was one of my favorite shows of that year. It was like my number 3 of the year came out. And basically, Bofuri, it's about a girl. It's an anime. It's about a girl who signs up to a MMO, and she puts all her points into defense, and basically becomes invulnerable, and then gets a bunch of wacky, overpowered skills that are surprising and fun and neat. Like, there are some really good gifts from the first season, especially. You know, you'll see, like, you'll see them around on the internet sometimes, like, the main character, Maple, just, you know, being caught unawares as, a guy comes up behind her and hits her with a mace, and she just no-sells it, just no reaction, because it doesn't do any damage. Just completely whiffs on her, and it's very funny to see. And she gets a bunch of fucking increasingly wacky and overpowered things through the first season, and it's good and fun and light and has really good vibes. And I'll say Season 2 is still light, it's still fun, it still has good vibes, it's just that there's a lot fewer surprises this time around. You know, it's just Maple, she gets a lot less stuff. The other characters in the show get a lot more this season, which to me was kind of disappointing. I'll say for what it's worth, you know, the things that they get are cool and neat, but, you know, part of the thing I feel like there was such an appeal of Season 1 was that so much of it also broke the game. It was literally game-breaking, the things that Maple got. She had the devs basically had to nerf her in order to make things less ridiculous. But I would say of Season 2, the developers are mostly keeping things pretty normal, and it feels like most of the wacky overpowered things are just, you know, everyone else catching up a little bit to where Maple was already. There's like 1 or 2 things that Maple gets this season that was cool, but I was looking for something for a little more impact, I guess. Still, like I said, you know, it's a 4 out of 5. That's not bad. That's definitely like that's not bad, you know. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it. I definitely liked it. It was fun and light. They're having fun. It's a good time. It's just not as impactful as it once was. What? Did we miss coins earlier? Oh, right, we can go up over here now. Get these. Anyway, that's Bofuri. Let me talk about another thing I finished. Finished a couple animes on my backlog, you know, ones that I've been rewatching and been meaning to actually finish off and, you know, reassess my opinions thereof in the process. That's kind of part of why I like to rewatch a lot of anime these days, just to like give them a fresh review. It's like, how do you do this jump? Jesus. That's like, you know, up to date with how I'm feeling. It's not jumping. I finished rewatching Orange. Landed on a 2 out of 5 for that. The show Orange, it's about a girl who receives letters from the future, and the letters tell her like, oh, this boy is really depressed and he's gonna, you know, you know, I want you to help him and make friends with him and maybe, you know, maybe romance and stuff. And it is cute and sweet and shit, but I ended up feeling like on rewatch that it was also dreadfully, dreadfully boring, unfortunately. Found it pretty dull. Reason why is that, part of the reason why is that I feel like I really didn't like the characters all that much on rewatch. They're all very passive, at least the main character and the love interest are. You know, he's kind of just passive to a fault. She's just sort of doe-eyed and just spends all of her time just like staring and being like whelmed, you know? Being like, you know, just being like, just really, really just, really just nothing to where she's at. You know what I'm thinking, by the way, Highway? Did you know that you could take this route? I feel like coming up the side here feels a little unintended. Oh, you know what? That can't be the case. Why else would you have that blue there? Why else would this blue be there? Wouldn't be there if it was unintended. Okay, yeah, you know, okay. That makes sense. I'm still 2 reds. Fucking hell, fuck! Hey, Bo Sergio, how's it going? Thank you for the level. Too short of... whatever. I was too short, 2 reds short. I don't know where the ones I was missing are. Oh, well, there's one of them right there. Under the thing. We have to get up there with the on-offs the other way to unlock the thing. Oh, also, you know what? There's coins over there as well. That's part of why it's, that way, I'm sure. On more positive news, on more positive anime stuff, I finished Slow Start, which I ended up really enjoying. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It's just a mellow and simple slice of life where the main character, she's had a leap year, or not a leap year, like a gap year, where she didn't go to high school 1 year and ended up starting a year late, and she's very anxious about it. She's like a very anxious character and worried about fitting in, which, you know, is cute and good. And, you know, she fits in fine. She goes to classes and hangs out and makes a couple of friends who are fun and have a variety of you know, personalities, as they do in slices of life. I would say that it was really fun. The core cast of girls is like a solid ass. You know, they're all winners in the crew. That a friend that she got. You know, she got like an adorable friend, a mature friend, and a zany friend. They're all pretty good. there's also a couple of supporting characters that you know, add some more opportunity for like plot. You know, it's very much a very chill, mostly just hanging out and talking about stuff type anime, but occasionally there's some plot that's interesting, some situations that, you know, draw upon the premise, and it's good and I like it. Also, I'll say, like, for what it's worth, I actually had, like, a very similar situation growing up, right? Ended up going to kindergarten, like, a year late, and as a result was, like, always the oldest kid in class, technically, but you wouldn't be able to tell because I was very little. You know, I was kind of a little bastard, had a late puberty and shit. But, you know, I can very much relate to the premise of slow starts in a way that feels very weird, feels as if, like, oh, this anime was kind of made for me. You know what I mean? And it's kind of weird in that. You know what I mean? It kind of feels weird, and I can't not give it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and, like, the like, specificity of it, I think it's just really nice. And you know, when I first saw it, I was just like, God damn, they made an anime about my situation. And, you know, the main character of Slow Start is basically is also the smallest kid in class, or a smaller kid, despite being the oldest by like a year. I wasn't like that. You know, I have a May birthday, so I was like a month older than anyone else, like tops. You know, maybe the oldest by a minute or two. It wasn't that significant of a gap, but I did think it was really weird, and also did not really want to talk about it throughout my childhood. You know what I mean? I didn't want to talk about that. It's like, yeah, I don't know, this seems weird. I'm not gonna say anything about it. And if anyone like, you know, if ever someone asked like how old I was, I'm sure they wouldn't do the math and go like, wait, if you're May birthday, I don't think anyone really cared that much about like ages growing up. I feel like it was just a fixation that I had, and, you know, seeing it represented in Slow Start was very interesting to me. I feel like there's one thing left. I feel like there's just like a 10 point or something. Fucking hell! Was that possible to jump over? Or did... I don't know if I screwed up or what. On an anime note, I also started rewatching Anime Yell, which is a cheerleading anime. It's a cheerleading slice of life about a very cute, tiny girl who decides that she wants to do cheerleading. And, you know, in Japan, apparently cheerleading is less popular, a little more niche, I think, is part of it. So it's not like, oh, it's not like she has to try out. What she has to do is, like, figure out how to set up a cheer club at her school and get it started and get people joined and all that. And it's very cute, very light, has great comic timing, and it's like one of my favorite slices of life to rewatch, to go through. And I'll tell you, I'm just like enjoying the hell out of this rewatch. It's funny as fuck. It has really good timing. There's a point where there's a really good... There's like a gif of a moment where, in the 3rd episode, which I watched the other day, rewatched the other day, where while doing cheerleading poses, you know, like one girl says to the other, she says, "I love you," and the other girl says, "No, thank you," and it's cute. And it's a very cute animation, and they do like some hand poses or whatever while they're doing it. Really happy to be watching Anime Yell, one of my favorites. And I like to have a slice of life that I'm rewatching, you know, it's a good thing to watch at the end of the night, you know. I like to have it as like a unwinding anime, you know, an anime to watch when I'm just want to watch one last thing before bed. And Anime Yell is probably the best slice of life that I can think of for that. Well, other than like Laid Back Camp. I would put Laid Back Camp. Oh, it's in my top 25 Anime Yell. I guess that's part of why I was thinking about it, why I wanted to go back to it. That I was, you know, because I recently did, like, updated my top 25 anime list, and it's good. Really, really having a good time watching it. If y'all have Crunchyroll, and you're looking for, like, shows or whatever, like, you know, recently, Tribucket, viewer of this channel, has been in such a position. If you are in that position, Anime Yell is a slice of life I would heartily recommend. I'm going the wrong way. Also, hey, 2M, how you doing? Fucking hell, again with the... Ah! Good, good. Yeah, it's good you're doing good. Guy up on my head. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Bo Sergio. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. It's Friday. I can't complain. I'm happy it's the weekend. I've had a long and busy week, and I'm ready to not think about anything, you know, not worry about anything. I'm ready for a stress-free weekend, you know what I mean? That's where I am at right now. You're too busy watching a new show instead of finishing Bofuri, which just airs the latest episodes you've yet to see. I talked about Bofuri just earlier, kind of not as into this season of Bofuri personally, but it's still a fantastic show, and I still, you know, it's still good light fun, I'll say. Season 2 has been great. I say it's been pretty good. You know, I'll say, like, don't take a 4 out of 5 to me it's bad. It just didn't hit me nearly as hard as the first season. I appreciate that the other characters got pets. But, like, nothing in it has been game-breaking, and to me, I want something that's, like, game-breaking. Like, makes me go, like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? You know? Like, some of those things in Season 1, oh my god, they're fucking so out there and so wild. I'm not even gonna say them. I'm not gonna spoil them. Y'all should watch Bofuri and see what happens. And honestly, you know, go on to watch Season 2. You know, I'm not saying don't watch Season 2. I'm just saying that, you know, don't expect it to be, like, best of the season, right? Don't expect it to be the best thing on television. One of the best animes you've seen? I mean, it was, like, in my top 25 before Season 2. And it honestly is close. I had to very much think, like, oh, do I really want to put something else on here? You know, I very much stressed over the list. Hey, anime... Monk Kev, how you doing? Shout out to the OP of Otaku Elf. I recently, like, you know, went through and got all the, you know, went through and like, picked up all the OPs of all the shows that I'm watching this season. I watch a lot of anime, 2M. I'll say that. I watch, like, probably like 20 shows a season at least. I think I'm watching 25 this season. But anyway, went and grabbed and like, you know, all the anime OPs and been listening to them. And I'll say, like, I think the catchiest theme of the season, the catchiest OP of the season, I think it is Otaku Elf, which is on High Dive. Just a very good OP. It sounds really nice. Has some really cool, has some really good, like, lyrics and shit. I'll say also Yamada-kun at level 9999. The OP of that is also really catchy and good, and the animation matches up with it very, very well. I'll also say, same thing of Otaku Elf, the animation with the OP is also great. I'll also say that Death Play, its ED is really cool. It's kind of, it really nails like the spooky, it really has like a sort of a spooky vibe to it while also being like pretty low-key cool. Very cool OP, or ED ending theme, you know, on Death Play. What the fuck? Kind of a weird name to say. Death Play. I've seen a lot of anime. I'm like in the hundreds of anime I've seen. I'll say that I watch a lot of shorter anime. I watch like a lot of things that are just like one season, you know. Like to me, a show being 12 episodes means that I can just watch it, you know, over the course of like a week or two if it's, you know, a backlog show, or just have it be like something I watch every Monday for 3 months and just have a good time with it. You know, the longer shows, I'll say, like, as far as anime goes, those are my holes, right? Like, I've never seen Naruto, for instance, Naruto. I've never seen Bleach. I've never seen a lot of the longer shonen anime from, like, the aughts. But I have seen, like, Cells at Work, and, well, it's not that Cells at Work is obscure. It has 2 seasons and a spin-off. But, you know, I've seen all sorts of you know, maybe lesser-known shows. If anything, you're sad that they've dropped from 13 to 12. It depends. It depends. Some are 13, some are 12. I think it really depends on, like, you know, budgets, all that. Whether a show gets, you know, whether a show gets 12 or 13, and some of them get 25, you know, some of them get 24, you know, they get 2 cores, as it's called. Anyway, I just want to say again, Otaku Elf, the OP, honestly, there were times of the last few days, you know, I'm working, whatever, just have the Otaku Elf OP just looping in the background. Sometimes I just do that. I just get the OP of an anime, and I just leave it on. You know, just have it loop. And it's like, okay, once I do that, I don't have to think about, like, what podcast am I going to listen to right now? What YouTube video am I going to play? Nope, just Otaku OP, you know, which is 1.5 minutes long, for, like, the next 30 minutes or something. Just let it play. That's fine. I'm not going to think about that. You know, as I work or whatever. Background music. And also, you know, I'll look over and I see like, oh yeah, that's a good animation. Oh, I like the look of that character. I like how she's doing a thing. Oh, I can't wait until that character, you know, joins the anime. You know, I'll say Otaku Elf is a Friday show. There's been a new episode, I haven't seen it. I'll watch it, like, maybe after the stream, maybe tomorrow. You know, we'll see where the night takes me after I do the raid. But maybe that new character that's in the OP and looks cool is in the show now, and that'd be fun. I listen to a lot of anime music. I don't listen to a lot of other music. There's a scene in Saikano, you know, a show about, it's a harem show about a guy who makes a visual novel, and he's kind of a dork. He's kind of like a big, huge nerd, and he has, you know, it's a harem. He has like 4 love interests who are like completely outsized and ridiculous and just vamping to the extreme, and one who is normal. And you know, it's not really a spoiler to say, like, yeah, obviously the normal one is the protagonist, and you know, it plays with contrast in that way, insofar as like, oh yeah, she's just normal, she's just nice, and you know, it's a very cozy relationship that those two in particular build, and you just like to see it. What about up here? What's up here? We're back here. We have to make sure not to die. Something you find weird is when an anime intro has a character who isn't introduced until the next intro starts appearing. Oh, fuck. This is a one-way. I'm supposed to only go from left to right here. We didn't need to go back that way, I guess. Usually, anime OPs, they tend to only have characters that appear in that span. I'll say that is weird. That is weird, 2M. Yeah, I don't know any instance of that off the top of my head. Maybe, like, some big shonens do that? I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Fullmetal Alchemist does it since, you know, or Brotherhood does it because, you know, it's sort of a continuation of an old anime, and maybe just, like... I mean, I don't know when, the State Alchemist character. I don't know when, like, Riza shows up, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was in the first OP for that. Good, okay, we've done it. Perfect. No, no, we don't want anything to do with this. There's nothing over there, so let's go back to the start. Which is over here. Or back to the exit. Go to the exit. Ah. Thank you for the level highway. That was a long one, but very nice. It'll be a while until you come up. Yep, that's right. Of course, as always, once we get to the lightning round, things will start moving a little faster, but, you know, for the first hour or so of any stream, I like to have it in normal mode, you know, for at least the first 3-4 people. We'll see when we start it today. Complete. Tried to make it shorter than usual. Yeah, I mean, we got, like, most of the way through every time. I wasn't actually close to a timeout at any given point. It just took a lot of tries. Relative. One more anime thing. There's a Bochi event this weekend. It's some sort of live concert type thing with some sort of announcement. I would bet it's just like some sort of extra CD with new music on it, which I'll say it would be really nice. I like the music a lot in Bochi the Rock. I love the music a lot in Bochi the Rock. That is definitely like if you watch the anime, you know, definitely you'd know like, oh yeah, put all that shit on YouTube, listen to it all the time. I really like all those songs. But it also would be cool if they were announcing a season 2, because, you know, Bochi is just now very, very popular coming out of last year, where it's, you know, made quite the fucking splash, and everyone was really impressed by it. It was my anime of the year last year, Bochi the Rock. I hope it's a season 2, but I'm expecting, like, you know, a model, or, I'm not expecting anything major. You know, I feel like it's just like a local event, or like, it's just like, oh, come and hang out, you know, with the voice talent and all that. I bet it's more like that than anything like, here's a season 2. But I'd be really happy if that was the case. I feel like with season 2s of anime, it's either announced like right after, by the way, Adrian, you're up. It's either announced like right after it airs, like Bofuri season 2 was announced right after it aired. You know what? We haven't heard about a Bofuri season 3 yet. Actually, now that I think about it. Or it's announced like years and years later. You know? Never like 3 months later. That seems a little fast to announce the second season. For it to be like a seasonal announce. To be fair, season 2 got delayed like 2 times. Did it? Was it announced for like... Oh yeah, that's right. Wasn't it like pre-pandemic? Right, well, that makes sense, yeah. Jeez. Season 2 of Bofuri had a really rough production. I'll say it got delayed like 2 times in the middle of it. Oh, did you mean like episode? Yeah, that's right. Okay, I thought you meant like it was supposed to start like last year or something. But yeah, like episode 7 and episode 11 were delayed a couple weeks. That's true. Yeah, that's probably part of why I was like somewhat underwhelmed. I was probably going into that like, if it had like gone through the whole span, maybe I would come through with a 5 out of 5 and be like, yeah, that was as good as always. Like, maybe not as hot, but still, it's not an all-time favorite, but maybe 5 out of 5, but I don't know. I'll be curious when I rewatch Bofuri Season 2. Maybe I will appreciate it more. Maybe I will feel better about it. I will say there were some really nice and cozy plot threads in there that I really liked, just it didn't have the impact, you know? Just a small town girl. Like the song, I get it. In a city boy and all that. Put the timer up. Yeah, that's right. It was delayed due to the... When you say delay... Well, whatever. I'll manage. I like these platforms. They're very flavorful. Bofuri has tainted reincarnation anime for you? I guess. For me, the one that it taints, that Bofuri taints, and like, if I say taints, I mean it like, blows out of the water, would be, Gal Gun? Girl Gal? The sword... It's like a spin-off of the sword shonen, except it's more of a lighter thing about a girl with a gun who runs very fast. Sword Art Online, it's like a spin-off of Sword Art Online. And that one has a little bit too much edgy energy. Whereas if it just was like nice and light like Bofuri was, I would really like it a lot more. I'll say that there's other isekais that I like, you know? Like, really liked Campfire Cooking from last year, or from last season. Farming Life Isekai was really cozy and good. ReZero is like, just, I think ReZero might be my top isekai. I recently did a top 25 list of anime, and ReZero ended up on it because I think it's my favorite isekai for having, like, the time travel aspect of it. Does it tell you if you've already played a level? If I've hit complete on a level, it'll tell you so, yeah. And if not, we can substitute it for another one. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out, highway if you have, if there's a problem. You know, it's also possible I might not have finished the level in question. You know? I don't have a Shelmet, so I couldn't just do the thing again. Well, that's... You can't duck when holding a spring. I don't know if I knew that. I like this little... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Fuck yes, I saved it! Holy shit, that spring came in handy! I thought I was dead there for a second, but now, fuck that. I'm alive! Holy shit! God damn, that was that was sick. Pro fucking moves. This is a pretty good level, Adrian. I think I say pretty good. It's solid. I like it. A lot of interesting elements. I like what you've done with the fire bars. You know, that's fun. You don't see fire bars all that much in like traditional levels that aren't like castles. You know, I feel like they're quite hard to use. You know. Have I used a fire bar in my super world? Yes, in 7.4 has one. Has a couple. and they're used pretty well too. I could use a couple more fire bars maybe. That'd be a good thing to mix into the next world. Maybe this level, the one with Link, could have fire bars. Would make sense. Volcano and all, or not volcano. Lava is there, but it's not a volcano. It would make sense. It would fit. It would fit the theme. Thank you for the level, Adrian. That was quite nice. Good work. Very solid, very fun. Enjoyed it. I'm gonna put in complete, and I'm gonna put in next. Next up is Lord Bowser again. First repeat of the night. I'll tell you what, we'll do a Lord Bowser's level, and then one more, and then we'll do the lightning round. How does that sound? Does that sound fair? Let's do we'll do Lord Bowser's and then two more, and then two more after that. Why it was started the timer prematurely there? That's silly. Bah. Little tired, little tired. I haven't been sleeping well. I haven't slept that much the last 2 nights. Hope to catch up on sleep a bit over the weekend. You are in position 3. That's cool, okay. I definitely, you know, about an hour in is the right time to start the lightning round, I typically find. But, you know, I'll say again, we start at 6 p.m. Central. You always want, if you want to get into the first round, if you want to get into the start, you know, be there promptly and get your level in, you know, as one of the first ones to do it. Honestly, you could even start, like, before I actually start streaming. Usually I open the queue while I'm, you know, preparing the stream. But you would only know if you were really watching my chat really closely. No one's ever done that. No one's ever tried to sneak in before the stream even started. Which, you know, it'd be fine if you did it. I don't care. But I find that's, you know, fun fact, I guess. You can do that. It's not like I hit go live and then I do the command. Usually it's one of the steps beforehand, just at a random point. Alright, 1, 2. I'll do another card. I got loads of cards tonight. I finished A Space for the Unbound. Right, I talked about this on Monday's stream, that I bought A Space for the Unbound. Heard about it on, like I said earlier, I've been catching up with my podcast backlog. I was really behind, but I heard about A Space for the Unbound on a old, on a Min-Max podcast from a few months ago, the other day, like on Sunday or something. And I thought it sounded really cool, so I bought it, and went through it. And sure enough, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. A Space for the Unbound is sort of a weird adventure game, sort of like really, really pretty pixel art with some really good, like, color choices. You know, for like the characters and the world and stuff. It's set in like Southeast Asia in the 90s. It's set like the 90s in Southeast Asia, which is a setting you don't see that often. And it's about a high schooler who finds himself with a girlfriend all of a sudden, wakes up and finds out, oh, I have a girlfriend, and just wants to hang out with her and do some stuff, and weird stuff has happened that requires him to use a special ability he somehow has, where he can go into people's minds and, like, do stuff to solve puzzles in an adventure game sense. And also, your girlfriend has some powers of her own, apparently, and it's all very weird and unnerving, and a little bit, it's a very good mystery, you know? You spend a lot of it, like, wondering, what is going on here? What the fuck? Why is the world ending? How does this all relate to me and my girlfriend? What's up with these cats? Why can the cats talk? What? The cats talk? Oh, fuck. That's weird. You know, you just wonder a bunch of this shit, and you know, it goes in some really cool directions. Highly recommended. A Space for the Unbound. It's $20 on everything. Just really enjoyed the hell out of it. It's maybe like 9 hours long in total. And once you get to the parts where it really starts like ramping up in the end game, it's really hard to put down. Like the last 5 hours or so, I probably just marathon through it on Wednesday night, which was, you know, it took a while, but I enjoyed just about every part of it. I put it right up there with like, that was a very good level, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't talk too much about it directly, but very well made. I like how you used like the Koopas and stuff. Liked how the underground felt. That was a very good level. Very nice. Very fitting for a 1-2, I think. Would highly recommend A Space for the Unbound. Highest recommendations. It's the first game this year I've loved. It's also the first game this year I've played all of and gotten like into fully, other than like remakes and re-releases. So, you know, it feels good. I at least know I have one game for my top 10 list at the end of the year. I have one game, A Space for the Unbound. And I would put A Space for the Unbound, it's like right up there with my favorite adventure games, which I'd say would be like Life is Strange, Ghost Trick is up there as well, and I think last year's Pentiment is also in that running, in that contention. I'm not sure there's any other adventure games that are like right up there with those four, including Space for the Unbound. I'll say I really love the plot of Grim Fandango, but the puzzles and stuff, I don't like them. I find them fiddly and hard to do, which is unfortunate because the writing is so good in Grim Fandango. I'm so glad that Tim Schafer, you know, ended up going to writing plots for games that were platformers rather than adventure games and stuff. That to me is a lot more approachable. I guess Grim Fandango would be my number 5 adventure game of all time, but I'll say, like, I don't really like the way it plays, unfortunately. I feel like, now that I say that, there's maybe like a 5th game that's on the tip of my tongue. Maybe like Botanicula. Maybe Botanicula would make the cut. That one's a pretty weird one, but that's an adventure game, and I probably like it more. I enjoy playing Botanicula, you know? Thank you for the level, Lord Bowser. Let's go ahead and see the next one. And Mister's Pasta. Mister's Patata. Let me at Mister's Patata. You are up. The viewer levels bot is saying Mister's Patata is not in chat. Go ahead and confirm if you are Mister's Patata, and we'll play the level. If not, we'll still play the level, but we'll do so in sudden death as our way. Like I say up top, if you're here, you get the full time of day. If you're not, you get nearly sudden death. We still play the level either way, but you know, makes it a little harder to get through it. It also means that the next person will be coming up faster. Let me do another card while I punch this in and give Mister's Patata some time to like respond and shit. And by the way, so long as we're still playing the level, feel free to like you know, speak up in the middle of it, and I'll shift you over to using a timer. Do y'all chew gum? I was kind of thinking about this when playing A Space for the Unbound. There's a scene where, you know, the main character and a little girl that he's friends with are chewing gums. Bao Sergio is here. You are not Mister's Patata, so, you know, there you go. There's a scene where they're chewing gum, and I don't. I was thinking about that, going like, oh yeah, I don't chew gum these days. I used to. When I was like in college, and I missed an S there. When I was a younger person, I chewed gum all the time, but I sort of cut it out. You know, I sort of stopped it. I was chewing too much gum, you know, going through too many packs a day. Pretty much. I would just, like, take one piece of gum and, like, take several pieces of gum and just kind of mix them in weird ways. And that, maybe, is a little bit of an expensive way to engage with gum. Occasionally, I have mints. I like a mint. But not so much with gum. these days. I bet a lot of people chew gum, but a lot of people also just, you know, don't, I guess. I guess it's like mints. Why is it in French? I believe that's because Mr.'s patata is French. You can see, well, actually you can't see, I'm covering it up. There's a French flag next to Mrs. Patata. Oh, is that supposed to be? It says Mr.'s Patata, but is it Mr.'s or Mrs.? Maybe it's Mr.'s Patata, but it's MRS in game. Is that Mrs. in you know in French too, or is it like a different abbreviation in French? For Messieurs. Or would it be like Messieurs? I've heard Messieurs before. Well, that's a head scratcher. Messieurs is Misters in French. I feel like I'm a little confused, but whatever. I will say, you know, I don't like to necessarily... I want to avoid, you know, assuming pronouns where possible. Though sometimes it seems, you know, fine to, like, go from context clues. Like, if someone's name is, like, Mr. something. But that is MRS. Is Mr.'s, like, Mrs. in French? You can speak, you should speak more French, 2M. I've never taken any French. I don't know any French. Other than, like, what I've absorbed through osmosis. You know, in the same way that everyone knows that loco means crazy in I almost said Japanese. It means crazy in Spanish. You know, or like bonjour. That's almost a loan word at that point. People know that it means hello. And as such, it does also mean hello in English as well. Thank you for the level, Mr.'s Patata. But what couldn't do it, but that's sudden death for you. You know, feel free to resubmit it as you please. Like I said, the rules are simple. Be here and you get thing. Loco isn't Japanese. Oh wow, you how many languages do you know, 2M? I know some Japanese. From what I know, it looks like you've done it right. Let me try to read that real fast. Yeah. Wait, didn't I say? Oh, Roko. Okay, Roko. Yeah. That's how you would say loco in Japanese. Loco wa Nihongo de wa arimasen. No, loco is not Japanese. How many languages do you know, 2M? That's impressive. Or did you just plunge it into a translator? I mean, I guess that's pretty simple stuff, you know. It's just, it's all hiragana. I always mix up hiragana and katakana. No, I don't. I don't mix them up, but I always wonder if I'm saying it right. It's all hiragana and katakana, except for the characters for Nihongo, which is pretty, you know, it's hard to mistake those ones. They're pretty standard. Oh, you don't know anything other than English? You just have Translate built into the phone. Okay. Well, the Translate seemed to do a good job of it. And Bo Sergio is still here. Fantastic. Did you see the Mario movie? Fun fact, wherein the director had to fight for the star theme over Van Halen's Jump. I saw this and I thought, well, one, that's a fun fact, and two, god damn, I bet there were constantly executives who were like, can we cut the video game thing? How about instead of the DK rap, you put in just like any song. Or how about instead of this we do this? How about instead of that we do like I don't know, some really popular song. I bet at every time executives were pushing for like, let's not do the video game reference. Let's do like a pop culture reference instead. I bet that, you know, they had to do a lot of pushing back. And I'm glad that they did because, yeah. I heard it was the composer. Was it composer? I thought I heard director. I might have gotten the details wrong. I'll say it had been a bit between seeing the factoid and, you know, noting down the thing. But just, yeah, it goes to show how out of touch the higher-ups are. Exactly, yeah. It really makes you think. By the way, like I said earlier, after this one, we will go to the lightning round. Don't lose Yoshi. Okay. I bet you there's a goddamn executive on the Mario Maker, on the Mario movie crew who's just like, we should have nothing video game related. And I bet you Nintendo just has to be every time, they just have to go in and say like, no, we want the video game references. Yes, we want as many as possible. Just continue putting them in. Put in as many as possible. Okay, I can see why we need to do that. Oh, no! Would have been required to do that. You haven't seen it. The creators of Gravity Falls created the original script. Cool. Never saw Gravity Falls myself. You know, I've seen like a few Western cartoons, you know, a few cartoons since becoming an adult. But, not that many, honestly. I've seen Steven Universe. That's like the main one that I've seen of those that came out after I was, you know, of age. That's like the main one. That might be... I might be fucked now. Am I fucked? My Yoshi fell into a pit. Creator. Singular. That's a puzzle zone. Gotcha. Okay, so we gotta solve a puzzle here. Why would you kill the Yoshi? I'll tell you, it was by mistake. Didn't mean to have Yoshi die there. Looks like I'm supposed to go over there. But Yoshi, if he runs, he will not. Did the exact same thing again. I turned around just as I was getting hit, and Yoshi ended up running the other way. Why do people claim that Yoshi doesn't pay taxes? Well, look. That's for Yoshi's lawyers to like, disprove. I mean, I guess that's not true. It's for the courts to determine, specifically. But, you know... Who can say until he's had his, you know, time of day. His, time in court. Okay, we hit the on-off. Beautiful. He's an upstanding dinosaur. I don't know, have you seen Mario Party? Mario Party Yoshi. In Mario Party, Yoshi can fuck you up. Well, everyone can, but you know... I'm just saying. That's a fun boss. Not too hard, but, wait. What? Oh. Okay, I need to put on the helmet. Mario Party is not only a game. Yeah, it's canon. It really happens. You know, they've said in, like, interviews and stuff that, like, Miyamoto considers the Mario characters to be like a troupe of actors and just running around like performing skits and shit. And you know, when they're not like doing like a stage play where like, oh, Bowser's kidnapped the princess. You know, they're hanging out, they're doing like They're doing like go-karts and shit. They're just having a good time because really when they're not at each other's throats, they're friends. They're really friends. Comes down to it. You'd consider it a mid-boss. I like what you've done here to take advantage of the changed physics when you have something in your mouth as Yoshi. I'll tell you, I haven't seen that many cases of levels that do that. This feels very good. Especially being able to, like, go really fucking fast underwater. Which, again, you don't usually get to do. And I not even don't need, even, like, not only do you not usually get to do it, but you also usually can't because there's not a, you wouldn't necessarily think to do that. You must use the spring to go through the door. Yes. There's a GG in chat. GG, I like the level. Let's hit complete on that. I think it's been about an hour since we started the viewer levels. And also I said I would do the next one in the lightning round, so it's time now to go to the lightning round. Yeah, it's an hour and a half in, but also I tend to talk. It takes like 5-10 minutes to start the stream. And also it's, I tend to talk about shit that's going on and for the stream for the first like half hour or so, kinda. Maybe like the first 10-15 minutes, really. But it can be a little bit until we actually started viewer levels proper, to be fair. So like the hour mark is not like the best like milestone for that. By the way, I will say, speaking of like channel business, I was talking about this earlier, but I have a offer on the table from like Stream Elements. They do like some sponsorship deals, you know, where usually it's not really a good deal because if no one were to sign up or do a thing, you get jack shit, you get zero. But in this case, the advertiser, the promotion, the sponsor is Marvel Snap, which is a game that I love and I play every day. So, you know, I'm sort of thinking like, I'm sort of curious if y'all would be interested in seeing some sponsored streams of that, and if y'all were to be interested in like, you know, trying out Marvel Snap and like putting in a code that I will get, and that would get me some sort of like, you know, payout, which I think would be nice if anyone were interested in doing that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but I'm definitely thinking about that. If we do, it'll be next week because the thing. So I'm considering X, Y, Z. I am! I don't know! I don't know if it's cool. I don't know if I really want to do like an ad stream where they pay me nothing if no one is good for it. You know, that feels like free advertising at a certain point, but also I give Marvel Snap a lot of free advertising in the first place. So it's actually not that different, except maybe they'll pay me if y'all actually were to check it out and put a code in. Would that be something that anyone would be interested? You know, if anyone said they would do it, then like I could look at that and be like, well, it's not zero then. It's a minimum of like $4. It's a minimum of like $5, which, you know, hey, that's like a sub. That's like a subscription. That's like the value of a subscription, which is nice to have. Did I already hit next? Okay, I did. Free adverts. It's not a free advert because I'm saying specifically like, hey, everyone do nothing until I hit okay. And then maybe try it out and we'll do some sponsored streams and I'll try to think of ways that it can be fun. I'll say like, I'm not sure like how exactly I can make those streams interesting beyond just like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna play Marvel Snap for a couple hours, you know? And I do that all the time already, is the thing. And I have, like, decks that are, like, end game decks that maybe new players would be, like, less relevant to the new game that y'all will be playing if y'all are signing up now. I thought about doing stuff like, oh, I could do something like, oh, I only get to use, like, Series 1 cards or something, but that sounds like it would be difficult to, like, manage. Unless You know, there is like a versus mode in that game. Maybe I could get someone. Well, I say I could get someone. Maybe someone would be interested in like playing versus matches against me, and we could do like ridiculous theme stuff like, oh, only use Series 1 cards. Play with viewers, that's right. Maybe we could do something like that for those sponsored streams, and that would be cool. Maybe that's something like that would be manageable. And you know, if I did just, you know, Series 1 only cards, I would have to make a bunch of decks that I haven't made in a while. I'd also have to have a good way of like remembering which cards were Series 1. You know, it's not like they label them in game. I would have to like look at a site for that. Anyway, that's something that I'm looking at. Maybe that'll be next week. Maybe I'll chat with it on the Discord. If anyone wants to tell me, like, go ahead and do it. You know, go ahead. Let's do it. That sounds fun. I'm definitely leaning towards doing it, honestly. But also, I would like to do some Rivals of Aether sometime. And if I do Marvel Snap next week, maybe Rivals of Aether week after. We'll just hang out and play some Rivals of Aether, do some custom characters, and maybe some Parsec. I don't know. That would be like if I wanted to see if I could get someone else to come play with me. You know what? I'll say if I do a Rivals of Aether stream, I'll have a Parsec option, and maybe we'll try to get it working if someone were to be interested in joining in. But otherwise, it's fun enough to just hang out and play and just like look at the workshop characters and be like, hey, check it out. This is Tapu Koko, the mythical Pokemon from Sun Moon. Isn't it a pretty cool character to play as? Pretty cool character to play as. That's enough talking about that. Let's get to this thing, which is to say, it is time for the lightning round. During the lightning round, only I have 5 tries to beat each level that comes at me. 5 tries to beat each level. 7 for subs, and also for the first person who is you know, of the lightning round. Now I have a variety of random heads that can come up. Yep, that's right. First level gets 7 as well. That's right, 2M. You can see I have a bunch of them. They come in a variety of forms, including some that aren't even Mario related. Those are rare. There's like 1 copy of those for every 5 of the other ones. There's Homer Simpson and Marge. I really like the ones from the from the Sonic streams that we did last year, including the Sonic Shadow and Eggman there. I'm gonna pull up the blocks that hide them from view while they're being shuffled, and I'm going to hit the button. You know what? We got Toadette last time. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Mario's. That's a new result. All right, let's go ahead and do that. The lightning round. Let's go. That's right, 7 Marios. That's a lot of Marios. Originally, when the lightning round started, and bonus heads came in like 3 flavors, and each of them had their different hotkeys that I had to use. And eventually, I implemented this this roulette thing where it can randomly select a pair of Mario heads. And I think that that's just really nifty and really cool. I will say I have been looking at like options to I have been considering like for my Pikmin streams, right? I have figured out a way to have it so that a animation is on a roulette, right? It's like a gallery of GIFs, and the GIFs can be animations. And, you know, you could do something like, oh, have a custom animation that, like, of the Mario appearing, right? Or a custom animation of the Mario, like, flying off and going off screen. You know, it could even look like it spins off out of control if I did it via a GIF. Provided the GIF was big enough, I guess. I guess there's a question of, like, GIF quality and how well it would look. You know, but that would be possible for the 5 Marios, but the bonus heads, that's not really possible because they're already on a roulette. And also, I can't make, like, 100, I can't make 100, like, individually made, bonus head animations. That's not an option, so I have considered, like, Well, maybe we could do some sort of really cool upgrades. Maybe Mario goes right and the smash KO? Maybe. I like the popping sound effect. I'm sold on the popping sound effect. I love DKC, and that, you know, is a little bit of DKC in this segment, which I think is nice. Which one do we want to do? We want to do like the Super World, or no? There's no Super World. What are we doing, 2M? Which one did you say? Have I played 3-1? Did you mean 1-3? 3-1, the non-rev version. Let me see. Where is it? Very top? Okay. Okay, here we go. 3-1, very top. Let's go. 7 tries. Almost said 8 tries. There's no 8 try thing. I really love the bonus heads and the randomization. I guess it would be possible to do, like, if we just limit it to a... Oh, these are reset doors. What? I guess if we just limited it to... Is there a thing? Yeah, there's a thing. If we just limited it to, like, a set number of tries or something... Or just, like, a set number of bonus heads, or a set bonus heads, right? Let's say these Marios were the only bonus heads available, which would be a shame. Would be a shame, because I really like these bonus heads. I did not read the description, no. Let me exit course. Should that count? Tell me in chat if that should count. Can you find the dev? Okay, I think that should count. This is a troll level. That counts, that counts, that counts. There's no really obvious hint. Is it not? Would you say it's not? I mean... If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and all that shit, is it not a duck? That to me is what's... Puzzle level. Well, I do think a troll level and a puzzle level is, like, ideologically similar. I think it all comes down to the framing, really. You know? A troll level, to me, is just a puzzle level that kills you in a funny way. You know? I guess there are, like, troll levels that are more dickish than that, and are, like, unbelievably dickish. I guess there's a gradient. I guess there's a fine line. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The pipe. The pipes are exits as well. But we can't go in them. Hey, don't take it as an insult, man. I don't mean anything bad by it. I could get back into that door, but I'm pretty sure once you get here, you're just done. Pipe. Pipe right there. Don't hit the block. Pipe in the hole. Wait, there is no hole. Thought I had it, but, you know, there's no hole. Maybe there's a hole in this room. Oh, yeah, here's the hole. Don't hit the block. Oh, right. Yeah, if I don't hit the block, I wouldn't lock myself into the ending. The bad ending. Why do I bet that this is wrong? Hang on. No. No, I overthought that. I felt pretty sure there was something in that pit that would be worth looking at. That was incorrect. Where's the thing? How about another card? Did anyone know that ice arrows freeze the blade traps in Ocarina of Time? So you know those, this was going around on the internet today. This pipe is still good, right? Yeah, this pipe is where we want. So, you know, in Ocarina of Time, right, there's the part of the ice, of the water temple where you go up a slope and there's a bunch of spike guys going back and forth, and they're really annoying. Turns out you can freeze them. I don't know that anyone knew this, but those guys are vulnerable to the ice arrows. They just stop. And you can just, you know, walk up the slope if you do that. Of course, it is worth noting, I saw people noting and saying that, like, well, the ice arrows are really hard to get in Ocarina of Time, so it actually doesn't make as much sense as you would think to have, you know, you can't usually get them. It's not that easy to just say, like, oh, you know, under? No. It's not as simple as just, you know, those things are vulnerable to things. It was clearly intended to use them against it. You have 3 lives left, middle of the platform. Was that a tip? Okay, shit, there's probably a hidden something wrong. Oh, I bet it's a hidden key. I bet it's a hidden key. There's a bunch of them there. Okay. Fortunately, I have spares. Yeah, there's the key. And we can totally just jump back. Fire flower. Earlier. We need to save one. For now. Anyway, I just thought that was neat. The idea, like, oh, so you don't have to, like, awkwardly walk up the slope. You can actually do another thing. But, you know, you would have to go to Gerudo's and get the thing. It would be inconvenient to do it that way, but I had no idea it was even possible. How in the hell would you avoid... Oh wait, they're invisible blocks, and that means they refresh, right? So that means we just have to leave the room and it'll come back. Which means we need to go over here to the door. I'm pretty sure invisible blocks, they respawn when you leave the room. So this should be a solution. Yeah, like this one respawned. I guess the question is, do the power-ups respawn? 2M says we probably have to reset. Ooh, yeah, I guess we do. I guess... Alright, last life here. So we gotta hit them when they're coming down, while they fall. Okay. I think it is interesting that, you know, in games that old, people are still finding out new things. Not even like glitches and weird exploits and stuff. Just, you know, the game... Ooh. Just there's something about the game that people literally did not know before. That feels really weird to hit it while it's falling. I hit another one. I guess they loop. They're looping, so they will go around again and again and again. What am I doing? I need to go through the door. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. Destroy some blocks before pipe. 2M has a suggestion for us. Because it's the last life. I don't know, man. You don't want to see, like, me beef it because there's, like, a bullet bill that's gonna come at me and I don't have no recourse. That's funny, too. You're good. Destroy some blocks. I didn't need to destroy that many blocks, actually. Oh, you know what? A checkpoint does refresh. Does refresh these guys. Look at that, they're all back. Look at that, they're mostly back. Look at that, they're almost nearly all back. You thought it was funnier to have the CP. You know what? I think you're right. I expected an ending. I expected an ending. This is nearly as good. I have wasted a bunch of lives already. Just missing the thing as it comes down. Wasn't that hard. Watch, this is not going to be the correct answer. This is going to be the wrong answer. Oh, God. How do I get him to aim? He needs to aim higher. It's impossible in the States. Oh. Okay, I'll die. You know what? It's good to know. So we don't spend too much time trying on a... We need the mushroom. Before we release the guys, let's only release one of them. Oh, fuck me. Possible in the state. What exactly? Let's stop and think for a second. So we got this guy in the pipe. The guy is a piranha plant. Doesn't seem to have the height to destroy the ice guys. The ice blocks. If you die again, you'll just say, well, we'll have one life, so... Yeah. And by the way, I always say, you know, if you want to give tips, etc., that's fine. Don't mind that so much. Fuck, I forgot about the parachute again. You need to be on the left when he spawns. And that'll determine, like, the direction that he comes out and the direction he parachutes in. Okay. This is gonna be we got one try left. This stream, anyway. Obviously, we can... Well, honestly, you can always resubmit. And we can always end up giving this another try. But this is the last try for now, bearing another checkpoint. Okay, I can see because of the parachute, he's wound up a little bit to the side. That's a good puzzle. Let me get up there real fast. That's not good. That might not be good. That's loss. Saw a loss there. No, looks like we're good. Oh, this is the ending. Look at that. There's a smiley face. There's loss again. That's definitely loss. Wait, is it loss? That one's not sideways. The last one should be sideways. Wait, the door was correct this time. What door? There was a door? Is there a door? Okay, I don't have it. I don't have it. That was more than 30 seconds ago. See the image. So you're saying that's not loss? Okay, so do the same thing that before was a trap, you're saying. Below loss, okay. Thank you for the level. That's the lightning round. Nearly was able to get through it, maybe, question mark. I don't know how much longer was left in it. But, thank you anyway. Like I always say, just because I cannot beat a level during the lightning round or whenever, doesn't mean you can't resubmit it, doesn't mean it can't be played again. It's just a fun thing for the end of the stream, towards the end of the stream, that keeps things moving and, you know, I think is a bit of fun as well. I always think it's fun when I die, and I hope that y'all appreciate the comedy of, seeing me die and going like, haha, that's funny. It's funnier when I die when there's consequences, you know? I think that is just, I don't want to like, I don't want to expose too much of the, like, the you know, like, if ever I sound frustrated when I die, I know that it's probably making a really funny moment. I know that. In the back of my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, you got me good. That's probably what I'm thinking, you know. And that's why, you know, I think it's funny when I die. That's why I laugh, you know? Something like that. That's the thought that's going through my head, anyway. Shell Shocked is here. Fantastic. I was going to say Shell Shocked you're next, but on top of it. Perfect. Do another one. Did you see the Marvel Snap patch? Shuri, Lockjaw, and Leech were nerfed, and Leader was buffed. Again, this is for those who are already in the know. Already into it. Yeah, so I was happy about the nerf, and I gotta admit that, like, yeah, these changes are for the best. I don't know if the Shuri change really addresses, like, you know, honestly really addresses, like, her makes her all that much more weaker. It just makes her so she's harder to use in decks that aren't, like, already the overpowered super strong decks. But I'll say, like, my Destroy deck, which uses Shuri. My Destroy deck, which uses Shuri, which I have, and I can show right here. Basically, it's a deck that's, I want to do Shuri on 4 and Nimrod on 5, and then I destroy Nimrod twice on turn 6 using, like, Venom and maybe a Zabud Absorbing Man, or Venom and, you know, any of the other 2 destroy cards, depending on what I draw. And it's a really fun deck, but now, obviously, I just have to keep in mind that Shuri and Nimrod have to be played on the same line, but otherwise, it still works. The only thing I can't do now with this deck is I used to be able to use Negasonic to destroy Nimrod that was Shuri'd, and, you know, since I have to play Shuri on the same location as Nimrod, and I have to play Negasonic on turn 3, it's not going to ever work out that way, the way it did before, but I still like Negasonic for this deck. I still think she's a great control card, and if I don't get Shuri, she's a really great thing to play it onto. I will say I'm not 100% sure about Bucky Barnes, but he's a good destroy card. And I don't have, like, another idea for, like, what else I should put in. You know, I guess what would be smart would be some sort of, like, counter to, like, Galactus. I'm getting a lot of situations where Galactus just ruins my day. by like destroying my shit and just me having no answers being just like, oh, fuck me. Something that countered Galactus would probably be a good addition to the deck, probably more so than the thing. Probably like a Green Goblin would be ideal then. Yeah, I think I'll put in a Green Goblin. That's a good idea. That sounds really good. Mario approves of this level. All right, let's go in and find out what's what. While I am a little chagrined that Shuri got nerfed, and I love Shuri, you can't go up there and get the thing. While I'm a little chagrined that... What? While I am a little chagrined that Shuri got nerfed, and I'm, you know, a big fan of using Shuri and shit, and also, well, I'll say I'm a little get put off, you know, like my Shuri deck, my Arnim Zola deck now doesn't work because, you know, I can't Shuri and then Arnim Zola it, because unless I were to do like a Negasonic play, you know, destroying the Shuri with the Negasonic before playing, look at that, we got through. That is such a fringe case that deck doesn't work anymore. Hola for Zola. Had a good run, but I deleted that deck soon after the patch hit. It's gone. And, yeah. You know, that strategy is not gonna come back. A strategy of using Taskmaster to do Shuri stuff, though, that obviously still has a place. Goddamn, couldn't finish. We saw a little bit of that level, though. Thank you for the level. I appreciate it, Shell-Shocked. Such as the lightning round. Go ahead and hit next. Let's see who's next. Again, for those who don't know, this is the lightning round. We only have 5 tries to beat each level that comes at us, refreshing at checkpoints, and 7 for subs. And again, don't take it to mean, you know, failing here to mean that you cannot resubmit it. You can resubmit it. You can do so today, or another night, or whenever you feel like it. Whenever is cool. It's just a fun mode that keeps things moving towards the end of the stream. Highway, you're up next. Let me add Highway real fast. You are up. Beautiful. Let me do another card. Been playing Marvel Snap. Just got Super Scroll and beat Bast. Yeah, with the patch, they did their pool drop, which means that a bunch of cards became significantly less rare, which means that basically I'm just grabbing up a bunch of the dropped cards, the less rare cards. I still don't have Valkyrie. That's the one, I think, of the new Series 3 cards that I don't have yet. But I got Super Scroll, which is basically a 4-drop that has all of the ongoing effects of all enemy cards. And I also have Bass, which is a 1-drop that sets the power of all the cards in your hand to 1. And I'll show you the decks I've been playing around with for that, with that. First, there's Darkhawk's deck, which is the deck I made last week after getting Darkhawk. I added in the Super Scroll, have like another ongoing option, which, you know, is handy if there happen to be like a Darkhawk mirror. I can steal their Darkhawk effect, or even their double Darkhawk effect if they're doing like Darkhawk Mystique, which is pretty fucking cool. And I will say I've won some games where people just either forget or the scroll just steals the exact right thing, right? Like, you know, the enemy plays like plays Claw, which adds 6 power to the lane next to it. Well, you know, Super Scroll also gets that effect, so haha. Or they played Null, which is an ongoing effect, so suddenly my Super Scroll becomes a null of his own. I will say there are also some negative ongoing effects that you don't want to copy, like the Electro guy that gives you like that's used in like ramp decks. You don't want to copy that, but I think Super Scroll is definitely slept on. I think he's a very powerful card, and I've definitely won games because, like, oh, they played Iron Man, and Super Scroll just copied Iron Man's effect and meant that it's a null game, you know, neither side got anything out of it. The enemy just spent five energy to do nothing because of my Super Scroll, and that feels pretty good. I'll say the deck as a whole, you know, it's a deck based around just, you know, filling the opponent's hand deck with rocks, and then playing Darkhawk and Mystique. Nothing complicated about it. And Zabu, so you can play both of them on turn 6 if you want to surprise the enemy. They're not going to be surprised, you know. If you're playing like Rock Slide and Korg and trying to like, you know, Wong that shit, then they're probably going to figure out what you're doing, but still, it's powerful and it's easy to win with. Been enjoying that deck a lot last few days. Ponder. Also, I'll show you the bounce deck as well. I put Bast into the bounce deck, and also I originally had a version of this that had Darkhawk in it, which, again, Darkhawk is a card that gets power based on the amount of cards in the enemy deck. And because I have Korg, you know, kind of fits, but ended up building it more around smaller cards in this one to really get that monkey energy, that hit monkey power built up. And I'll say what's an interesting thing, and I put in the Luke Cage and the Hazmat combo as well back in. And I'll say what's an interesting synergy that I didn't realize is that Sarah can end up getting reduced by the Bast because she is at 4 and Bast takes her to 3. Well, Luke Cage prevents lowering of your card's power, so Luke Cage undoes that and makes your Sarah strong again, and also makes your Mysterio full power as well, which it turns out is pretty fucking cool and feels pretty fucking good. I'm really pleased with whenever that's worked out, and I was surprised by the synergy there. Surprised. I didn't realize putting the deck together that it would do that, but it totally works. Those are the decks I've been playing recently. We'll see, maybe we'll do a stream of that, like a sponsored stream. And maybe I can convince some of y'all to check it out and get some sort of payout. Some sort of, like, you know, sponsorage. I think, by the way, if you're wondering, I think they basically send these sponsored stream things to just anyone who has a channel. And because the way that it works is that, you know, people only get something if the people, like, you know, have some results. Because of that, they're able to just send it out to anyone, and if anyone is just, like, you know, has no following, etc., then they don't end up paying anything for it, and it works out. Which I honestly think is usually a bit skeezy, you know, like, well, if it ends up being nothing, then any advertising I gave you was for nothing, and that's, you know, that's not good. But, I don't know, I feel like, what are we doing here? Feel like I fucked up. Did I fuck up? Well, you can't go. Oh, well, you can go through the door. You can go through the door. No fucking up. Okay, cool. So there's no soft lock situation, etc. Oh, we want to go through where the entrance door is. So down here, right there, P door. Oh, you can't see it. There's a P door behind my head. Fucking hell! I looked away and then ran into a bomb. That happens. This puzzle is nice. It's rather simple and very doable. I think the POW block part of it is really neat. How the POW block releases the guy. How the note block releases the POW, which lets you get in the door. That's all quite intuitive. The way that feels good. Okay, here's the bomb again. Wait. Oh! I see. That opens up the wall, which is gonna let us go back. Look at that. Wait. Now let's just get this coin. Now what? I can hit that P switch. What else can we do with the P switch? Up here, maybe. So there's a key door up there that we can't get to. We don't have the right stuff for it. Oh, can we bring the pout? Can we bring the bomb over here? Would that be, like, relevant? No, we can't pop the bomb. And also, there's nothing to explode over here. So that's not it. Let's think. We can't get back out of here unless the on-off is in this position. So this on-off has to be over here before we can return. Oh wait, there's another... Beyond the P block, there's another path. I see it. There it is. There we go. Okay, we have to erase the thing. Well, we're gonna have to jump off the bombs to get up onto the thing. Let's take the door. That'll be faster than walking. And also, I believe that refreshes the timer for P switches. I think some level once had that as a mechanic, you know, requiring that in order to get through. Beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Nice level. Very tight and compact, and reasonably good variety of puzzles that are each, individually not that hard to figure out, but together is fairly challenging. I think that's a very well executed puzzle level. Let me see who's next. An autopilot level that was fun to make. I suppose, yeah. I feel like there's some critical thought there. You know, involved in what decisions to make, etc. Adrian, you're up next. Adrian, go ahead and confirm, but Adrian is a subscriber. Let me just add Adrian. Feel like that comes with... You are up. That will come with some bonus heads. So let's just go ahead and get those up. And we'll randomize them. Oh shit. DKC2 heads. That's nice. Nice get. That's a very nice get, Adrian. Now let me do another card while I'm typing these in. Did you watch the Ninties Direct? Oh yeah, that was like Wednesday, right? That was like Wednesday. They announced it on like Tuesday, and then they did it on Wednesday between the Monday stream and the Thursday stream. Didn't talk about it yesterday. Yesterday's stream was very like on task, very focused on roller coaster stuff, you know, building roller coasters in Open RCT 2. But yeah, it seemed like a perfectly good showing. Some games look cool. Some games looked cool, and I'll tell you, like, I honestly probably forgot most of them by now. It's alright, I don't know. Nothing that's, like, made me, like, jump out of my seat and go, like, oh, I gotta go get this right now. Or maybe go, like, oh, I'm definitely buying this. But it's stuff that I could see buying. And I'm sure for the people that made those games, having that promotional slot must feel really good. But I don't know. Seemed nice enough. If anyone had any games that caught their eye, I would love the reminder of like what exactly was at that one. I'm gonna give him the full. I'm gonna give Adrian the full on account of being a subscriber. I feel like, you know, with the subscription, it is fair to do this for subscribers as well. It's a very traditional bit here, dealing with Cameron Brothers, and you know what? His levels are not that hard. I bet you we'll get through on one go. I bet it'll be fine. I bet we'll just be able to enjoy the bonus heads. I guess a possible way we could do it is like, oh, what if the lightning round? What if it was sudden death, but with the bonus heads? And I will say, that would be technically challenging to do without adding a bunch of more hotkeys. Because the way it's managed would... I'd at least need 2 more hotkeys to manage that. And I'm already like a little bit strapped for hotkeys on my keyboard. You know, or like hotkeys that make sense, right? I'm thinking about maybe getting like a stream deck or something. I mean, I couldn't use it when I'm at my PC because it can only be in one location, right? But it could be handy, and for couch stuff especially, it'd be very convenient to have that all like in a way that doesn't overlap with anything weird. There has been cases where like, oh, the the Chrome browser was open and the hotkey for this happened to refresh the page, and you didn't actually want to do that. Whoops. No. And Stream Deck would stop that from being so much of a thing. It would also mean that I'd be limited in as far as like, you know, doing these sorts of commands would be limited to like where I have it all set up. Oh no! But that wouldn't be so bad. Anyway. Like the use of Hammer Brothers. You know, Hammer Brothers, they're a challenging enemy. You know, you don't see them every day. Well, I guess if you play like a lot of Mario Maker, you might see them every day. But I feel like in a lot of cases, it's hard to do like a level that has them without being overly hard in like a very specific way. I also like the use of the Paracoopas there. Just a bunch of Paracoopas. You can't go wrong with that. Eh. It's gonna go sideways. Beautiful. Here's a guy, a Yoshi. Okay. I lost the Yoshi, but I'm alive. And look at that, I got a checkpoint. That does refresh our tries. Reminds me of the Bowser setup that I had, that I worked out for the thing. Oh, it's like a capture thing. I captured a Pokemon. That's what this represents. Of course. This is like Pokemon themed, I guess, this level. I sometimes don't pick up on things that seem like they might be obvious. Lightning crashes. Okay, well, that's... Actually, I don't know what that has to do with Pokemon. Well, Pikachu. An old mother cries. Maybe it's not Pokemon. Not sure. Thank you for the level, Adrian. We didn't need more than 2 tries, so... You know... It's all good. Go ahead and hit complete for you. Go ahead and hit next. Lord Bowser, you are up. Lord Bowser, it's a 1-3 time, yeah? All right. Let me go ahead and get that punched in. Let me app Lord Bowser. Make sure Lord Bowser is good for it, you know. You are up. You're up, Lord Bowser. Let me do another card. Did y'all know there was a Blinks 2? I was doing the VOD. I've been recently like going through and you know, clipping out big moments or like funny moments from previous streams, right? I try like to keep on top of that and you know, make good clips. And I'm like 2 months behind present, so I was just doing the stream where I did a bunch of Game Pass games, including Blinks the Time Sweeper. And I was like putting it into I was putting it into Twitch so I could like set the clip to be on Blinks the Time Sweeper. And I saw there was a Blinks 2 and I was like, what the fuck? There's a Blinks 2 in there? And I looked it up and sure enough, there was a fucking Blinks 2 game. It's not even like unreleased or anything. It came out. Hey, Lord Bowser, there you are. Very good. It came out. There's an actual Blinks 2. I have no idea if it's good or bad. It's probably bad, if I had to guess, but I'm kind of surprised they made one, given, like, how much Blinks kind of sucks. I say kind of sucks. How much it definitely sucks. Like, oh my god, I played like 10 minutes of Blinks 2, like, last month, and Jesus Christ. That is a suck-ass game. Like, holy shit. I guess I sort of heard it was a platformer. And it's kind of not. It's almost more like Luigi's Mansion. You know, it's as much a platform as Luigi's Mansion is. You run around sucking up shit and, like, propelling it at enemies, except it feels really shitty. It's really slow, it has bad game feel, and also you can jump, which doesn't really make it a platformer. Look what you've done with this underwater level. The fish are a good touch. The fish on rails, I mean, you know. You know what I mean. I like how you've done it. It's fun to avoid enemies on rails sometimes. I feel like that's an underappreciated thing. Mario Maker just, you know, using rails to make some enemies that move in creative ways. There's all sorts of potential for good setups with you know, with that. It makes for just a good, solid, I can get a 50. That's pretty easy. Well, this is still World 1, so that makes sense. Makes sense that it would be pretty easy. Very nice level, Lord Bowser.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna hit complete. There are none other in the queue right now. None other in the queue right now. So I'll say like you know, continue. Let me see, like how many more cards do I have? Let me check my clear app. I have like 3 more cards. Can keep going for a little while longer. It's only 2.5 hours in. Usually we go a bit longer than this. Usually these streams are like 3 hours on average, I would say. I would say they're like 3 hours. all in all. Bowser, go ahead and resubmit, but I'm going to, I'm gonna play one of my own now. It's been a bit since we had, like, some like, mellow time where I can just show off one of my own levels. I'll go through those cards as well. We got 3 of them, I believe. Unless I add one that I forgot about. Which one should I play? What's good? What's good right now? Hey Bowser, tell me, is there any one of these that you don't think you've seen before? Bowser, if you're around, tell me, is there any of these that you see the image of, you see the name of, and you don't know what it is? Because I'm curious. I feel like I've shown off, like, most of them, like, at one point or another. I don't know, like, which one would be, like, the most unknown of these 7 worlds, you know? There's the maker code from Bowser. I suppose it's also true that, like, for a lot of these levels, I literally was making them, like, on stream and updating people as they were coming together, so, you know, if you were watching the stream at the time, you probably know them, because I literally built them in front of y'all. But, as far as, like, showing them off, which one is, like, the most unknown of these? Maybe something from before the Super World. Oh, I like Temple Temptation a lot. Ramparts unknown. Oh, Ramparts unknown. Let's go Wrecking Ball Hall. I have a wild hair. Let's show off Wrecking Ball Hall. That's a good one. That one has some really nice little design in it. Did you see that Pyra and Mithra amiibos are in July? Yeah, so those next amiibos are coming out. Oop. Actually, you don't have to dodge them. You just have to go under. Looking forward to those. I'll say, like, and you might think it weird that I'm interested in those because I don't play the Xenoblade games. But my policy is to get any amiibo of a character that I play in Smash. And I do like Pyra and Mithra a lot in Smash. I think that they are fun to play as. And for that, because of that, I'm gonna pick them up. You can see this level is built around the spikes, and they sort of... I'll do lightning round rules, by the way. You can see the spikes, and they destroy the platforms as you're going, basically, which I think is pretty cool. In some cases, depending on how they're set up. And you can use them to get, like, some you know, items that are embedded in stuff. It's just good fun. Yeesh. Beautiful. Starting in the second half, there's a little bit more of, like, areas where you're running across it and a spike ball will be pursuing you a little bit. I like this part here where the ball goes through the underside and then destroys a little bit of the platform as it goes. Yikes! Oh, I got a checkpoint, so that refreshes, but then it pops down. But yeah, I'll pick up the 2-pack. That'll be fine. It's not like it's the only, you know, they're the only oddballs in my amiibo collection that are characters that I don't really have a connection to outside of Smash Brothers, but, you know, definitely want that. Here I thought it was interesting to have it so that if you're a big Mario, you can crash through the blocks. If you're a little Mario, you can go out the little door. Having that option there feels good to me. Here there's a block that you have to pass through by having the guy destroy it for you. Pretty nice and clean. One final chase here, where to get to the end, you have to jump through. Oh wait, that's not the end. You have to avoid a thing. And then you can go through. Also, if that guy were to throw it the other way, he'd destroy the platforms I'm on now. And here's the end. Okay, here's the end here. And you see you have to go through the spike ball, through the floor to get to the ending. Real neat shit in that one. I think it's just solid as hell. Let's show off a few more. Nice level. Thank you, SSG Shell Shocked. By the way, tell you what. Lord Bowser, it's 1-3, and then you also got 1-4, right? Lord Bowser, let's do that Lord Bowser level now. Let's do that Lord Bowser level now, and then we'll do. I'll show off some more levels, and I'll do a last call, and we'll end the stream like after the levels that get submitted after that point. Okay? That sound good? That sounds like a plan. Do the full bar, and I'm gonna hit next. Very good. Lord Bowser, you are up. Lord Bowser was here, and the queue was empty. I think in those cases, I gotta give it to you. You know, if I'm just, doing my own levels, etc., feel like it's only fair that it counts for you being here, that you were here when the queue was empty. You know. So let's go ahead and get that thing. Oh wait. Oh, right, 1-3 time was before the last level. Okay. Well, let's do it anyway, and then we'll do, like, last call after. We'll do, like, a last call after. Last call for additional levels after this one. I'll do one more card, by the way. Did you hear about a bunch of Twitter bullshit? You can see there I have written down, Truth GPT, which is like a racist version of ChatGPT, which is apparently allowed to be racist. So, hey, that's very cool, Elon. Everyone loves that. There's policy changes that affect trans people, especially dead naming is no longer against policy on Twitter, which that's not good. You hate to see that. Microsoft stops supporting ads in their ad manager platform, and also Twitter is being very weird about that whole X Corp thing. Honestly, just a bunch of shit going on with Twitter. It's a fucking train wreck over there. I saw some funny tweets about making fun of Elon, and I just saw that and thought the other day. I say the other day, like yesterday or something. And I said in the Discord I saw it in, not my Discord, another Discord, I said, what a website the world is losing. Because, yeah, Twitter is very funny, but goddamn, Twitter is gonna die. Twitter is not long for this world. Oh, Bowser says here as well, also. Cool. I don't think it's long for this world. I think Twitter is definitely on the downswing. I think they also add some other dumb stuff, like you can now subscribe to someone on Twitter like you would on Twitch. That's weird. Don't do that. That's not gonna be a thing. People aren't gonna do that. That's not gonna catch on. He was saying on Twitter, and I saw a really good joke on Twitter. Someone tweeted. I say I saw it on Twitter. More accurately, I saw it posted to Discord. But he did a tweet where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm supporting multiple people using like the Twitter Patreon thing." And someone said like, it's saying something that your rocket exploded today, and that's not the most embarrassing thing that happened to you. Which, that's funny. What a website the world is losing. Twitter. There's nothing quite like it, but also, goddamn if I'm not totally beyond it now, and perfectly happy not reading 1,000 tweets a day from all the people I follow and all the people they retweet, Thank you for the level, Lord Bowser. We're 2.5 hours in. It's a perfectly good length for a Mario Maker stream, I suppose. Honestly, I wouldn't mind shorter streams in general. You know, ending a stream earlier means I have more time to watch stuff after it without killing my sleep schedule. I have more time to, like, you know, eat food and do other such things, which, you know, going really long makes it harder to fit into a schedule, so it's fine, you know, having a shorter stream now and again. It's all nice and good. Let's go ahead and hit complete. The queue is empty. I'm gonna say last call. Last call for levels. Last call for levels here. I'm gonna do the minimized thing, and I'm gonna pull up one of my own levels, and I'm gonna play it. I was thinking, at least one. Let's do a couple. Let's do a couple of these. Do a handful of these older levels from before my Super World. I'm thinking Overcast Blast. That's a fun one. Uses the Bullet Bill helmet, which I'll say, in the Super World, I didn't actually make a level that uses the Bullet Bill helmet in a traditional level. This is an example of that, and I guess the only one that I've done. I did use the Bullet Bill helmet twice. Actually, I guess I did use it twice, but one was in a speedrun level, and the other was in kind of more of a puzzle level. This is it in a traditional level, by the way. So you can see there's a lot of cases where you can just fly over everyone like this, but also, check this shit out. Go down here, there's a 50 coin down here for you to get. Oh, jeez. And you can just barely make it to the clouds. This is also the first time I used bullies, and might be the only time I use bullies. I need to use bullies in the last level of my Super World, in Playtime Palace. Need to cover that gap. I always feel like with Super World stuff, and with level making in general, I like to use as many different elements across at least once, right? In some level, in some combination, in something. So figuring out how to make each thing work in a level that feels original and fresh and fun is always a challenge for me, right? I don't always want to use the same things over and over again. Oh, by the way, I still got like 1 or 2 more cards. Let me just do them. Did you see the high-res Pokemon scans? Yeah, so they found... they revealed... I delayed there, so those guys were on top of me when I came up. They found, or uploaded or something, some scans of the original Pokemon that they did. The drawing of the original Pokemon they did back in the day that were sort of like watercolored and washed out. Well, it turns out they were supposed to be not so washed out. The washed out colors was a result of a scanner being, you know, a 90s scanner, right? Not a very good scanner. And in full color, they look a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more full, and a little bit less, you know, of that washed out color that you sort of associate with Pokemon. We'll do one more. We'll do one more. No, let's do 2 more. Let's rule of 3. Rule of 3. Which one should we do? And Lord Bowser, anyone in chat, you see one you want to see, shout it out. You know what? Let's do bonus stage Board the Blocks. This one's a short one. This one's the 20-second one. This was the first one I did that experimented with short. You're on an ad, Bingo? Oh, hey, Bingo. How you doing? We're in last call, so get in a level if you want to. Last call for levels right now. Perfect. You came in the perfect time. This level is the 20-second level where I experimented with a clear condition. And it doesn't have a 100... It has a very generous timer, to be clear. But also, you know... It was my first experiment with using clear conditions in a level that was very, very short. And I think it turned out much better than the first level I did with clear condition, which was quite long. You know, Highway, in the Discord, me and Highway were chatting about, like, Highway talking about how a lot of people find his levels to be a little bit frustrating, a little bit overlong. And I do think that with clear condition levels, I think a lot of people find them really hard to get into, hard to enjoy, unless they are, like, really, really super short, which is why, like, since the first clear condition level that I did, which is this one, let me show you this one for reference, for context. Since the first one that I did, which is this one right here, I've kept them to be 20-second levels, very short, and no chance of, like, getting, like, 30 seconds in, getting 40 seconds in, and dying, and wanting to restart. In this one, you have a shell, and you have to keep the shell until the end. And there's just one shell, so, you know, you have to maintain it. But it's okay to throw it. You're allowed to throw it. Every time you throw it, where you're encouraged to, it'll end up in a bowl return, you know? That's why it's Delfino Plaza, Bowling and Baddies. I will say this is probably a difficult thing for a lot of players, but it's easy if you know to just throw it up. If you just throw the shell up, you don't risk, like, losing it to those guys. I think that's, like, the biggest misstep in this level. Probably shouldn't have had that bit, you know? Just make it jumpless. I guess if I also maybe, I don't know if, like, people picked up on, like, oh, you see the piranha plant, you're clear to throw it. You know, you throw the shell if you see a piranha plant like this, and you see this coin trail, go ahead and send it up. It'll clear a path for you, etc. I do think this level came out really neat, but also, you know, I will say it's an experiment that I definitely, like, look at and say, like, well, it was a good idea, but not quite there, you know? And since then, all my clear check condition levels have been 20 seconds, which works for me. I do think you can make clear condition levels that don't like strain, that don't, like, suffer this issue, right? That people don't get into and just, you know, get frustrated by or otherwise, you know, just want for a clear point. A clear condition. Oh, you know what? I actually have used one more clear condition. We'll do one more. We're still in last call. I'm on this clear condition thread. Let me do one more here, which is Beneath the Runway HD. This is a level that was originally in Mario Maker 1, which explains why it didn't have a checkpoint originally. And I remade it pretty much as is, but with the addition of some minor changes as well as some theming changes. If you want a creative secret, use invisible blocks and spiky beetles. Yeah, I've done that before in one of my Mario Maker 1 levels. It's based around hitting invisible blocks and using a spike block to get past them. This level is kind of like a puzzle level, kind of like not a puzzle level really. It's sort of like a Metroidvania, where you're trying to get a certain power-up, that being the feather. And I thought that showing that up front would sort of give you the objective ahead of time. Honestly, maybe I should have just added a checkpoint, even though the original one didn't have one. Just for those who, like, fuck up on this last part here, who aren't experienced with, like, cape flying. Because the last thing that you do in Beneath the Runway is that you take off. But as far as new levels go, past this one and Delfino Plaza, all my clear condition levels have been 20-second affairs, which suits me just fine. They end up playing a little bit more like Bash the Baddies, more like mini games from Donkey Kong Country, more than like a traditional Mario level. And I think that's sort of the space I like to inhabit with my clear condition levels. I think that's just more fun to me. You know, that's what I shoot for. That's what works for me. But you know, what works for different creators is different for different creators. Hello, Militant Mom. Thank you for the level. Militant Mom. There's this streamer who is like a Mario Maker streamer who has like Mom in her name. I wonder. Now that'd be quite a coincidence if that was you. But definitely a thought that goes through my head. Anyway, that there is last call. I've just shown off some of my own levels while doing last calls for new levels. Last call for additional ones. Let's go ahead and close the queue. Let's go ahead and get that closed for real. Let's go ahead and see the next level. The next level is Lord Bowser. Lord Bowser, you are up. Go ahead and confirm, and we will play your level. Let me get the bigger UI back up. There we go. Perfect. You know, if there's no now playing, it doesn't make sense to have the bar be the full length. But I like to, you know, keep it various states. I guess I could like add like different things for that slot, like, you know, I could put like a thing that says now playing one of my own levels, or now playing doing some making, something like that that's a little more contextual, so that people come in, they're wondering what's going on. They could see that and know. There could also be something like last call, you know, like I do last call by saying last call. Maybe there should be something on the HUD that says last call for new levels. Maybe that'd be cool. Definitely should. I should look into that this weekend. Maybe I should set that up. I say this weekend, you know, I do Mario Maker on Fridays. I could do that anytime next week, and it'd be ready in time for the next Mario Maker stream. Whoops, well, actually, that's fine, right? Because we already finished the new levels, right? Lord Bowser. So now, let's just replay this one. Sound good? Do this level of the Super World, then. I definitely want to look into some more channel point stuff. You know, some more channel point stuff. Like stand up and stretch, that'd be a good one. I know that some people have like the hydrate, and that's a really simple channel point thing to say, but you know, I kind of feel like I know when I'm thirsty, and I don't need y'all to tell me. You know, make an option for first. Yeah, I've seen some streamers have that thing, and it's very funny. You know, they all say like, congratulations on first. That's a simple bit that only takes a second out of my day. It's not a bad idea. I don't know, I feel like that one's been played out, you know? Getting some Michael Jackson vibes from this. What, from like the sped up music? Or from Mario? Did you mean, when you say MJ, do you mean some other MJ, not Michael Jackson? Michael Jordan? Michael Johnson? MJ is a user who made levels in this style. Ah, okay. Gotcha, okay. I thought you meant Michael Jackson. I mean, I feel like if you say MJ, people are gonna think Michael Jackson or Mary J. MJ from Spider-Man. You know, the girlfriend, MJ. Peter, he sometimes calls her MJ for Mary Jane, you know? He was apparently the one who made levels in this style popular. Damn. Man, that's interesting. That would be a really interesting thing to look into as far as like, oh, you know, this is back in 2020. It'd be interesting to like look and see like who was the first one to make a 20-second level? Who was the first when was it decided that 20 seconds was the ideal time for a short level in Mario Maker? You know, who was the first one to make a really, really popular 20-second level? I bet it's obvious. I bet it was like, you know, I bet it was like the first breakout level that was like top of the charts like the first couple weeks that really did it. You made a 20-second level back in late 19. I bet it was like the first year of Mario Maker. But then again, I don't remember. I don't remember if there were 20-second levels back then or if it took time for that format to emerge. I'd be really curious, actually. That's probably really interesting from like a historical segment, historical perspective. It was your first or second tradition level? Bingo, you are up. There you go. I see you there. Go ahead and punch it in and do the level. Any stage, your choice. I think we were on one last time, so why don't we just continue from where we left off. I forget if we finished the previous one or not, but either way, we'll do it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of challenge levels we haven't done yet. Looks like we finished Crystal Raid last time, so let's do Rising Ship. Again, we're still in the lightning round, folks, so we still have only 5 tries to beat each level, refreshing at checkpoints. 7 for subscribers. Twitch subscribers, you know, Twitch subs. I always say subs. People don't say subscriber, they say sub. Don't know why I said subscribe. Okay. Nearly ran into that guy, but I'm good. I do have an adventure that you're still on. You're subbed on YouTube. I have been thinking about that, you know, I do upload all the VODs to YouTube and shit. And I do wonder, like, do people on YouTube understand that this was originally a Twitch VOD? When I say for subscribers, do they get confused? Like, why doesn't anyone follow? Because, you know, the terminology is different. But, you know, for those who are wondering in retrospect, anyone on that side of it, just know that on YouTube, on Twitch, subscriber is money. That's what that means. You know, $5 a month, basically. Or free with a Prime sub. Everyone gets one free Prime sub, you know. I don't know if anyone's used a Prime subscription on this channel yet. There's one streamer I know, Team Kayla, who we've done raids to Team Kayla, and Team Kayla has done a couple of raids on me, some of my biggest raids. Some of the biggest raids this channel has ever had has been because of Team Kayla raids. But she does a thing whenever someone uses a Prime sub where she yells "Prime time" in like a Toad voice. Shit, fuck. That's sort of part of her gimmick. I recommend avoiding key deathing the boss of the stage. Avoid key deathing? How do you mean key deathing? It's simple yet somewhat bullet hell due to the rolling rocks. Oop, nearly didn't jump there. That would have been a silly way to die. When you say key deathing, do you mean, like dying when you have a key and losing the key as a result? Something like that? I will say, like, probably good to get back to like the oh wait, I gotta let this one explode. Then let this one come through. Let that one explode. That's not the most efficient thing in the world, but whatever. I will say the YouTube's been doing alright recently. Like, the viewer level VODs are getting a lot of views. You know, especially, even the making views, the making streams especially, those ones that are just dedicated making. Those ones do quite well on the YouTube. Turns out that, if you're not looking for, like, your level to be played, you know, it turns out if you're watching it not live in the first place, it doesn't matter if there's no viewer levels. in a stream. It's still cool to watch the process, you know. What are we doing here? Oh, okay, here we go. Left. This stage plays up like a collectathon. Okay, so it's sort of a hunt for the red coins where you have to find them all. Most collectibles are required. Not the 10 coins though. Those ones are optional. By their nature, you know? What was I saying? VODs have been doing well. The Pikmin streams, I'll say they haven't really taken off quite as much as far as, like, you know, those Pikmin streams, by the way. I like the theming here. These platforms, like, the tops of these platforms look really nice sticking out of these building-looking things. I'll say, like, fuck. They don't quite get the views that the Mario Maker streams do. But the average watch time is pretty high, so people are actually watching those, or at least some people have. I feel pretty good about that. I'm happy. Happy to see that. I've really been enjoying so far going through the Pikmin games. I think that's been a fun series. It's maybe a lot more. It's maybe more stressful than I thought it would be. You know, playing those games again, having to deal with all the hard ass shit that's in 1, and also 2. 2 has a lot of hard shit in the caves, it turns out. 3 is pretty chill. 3 is very nice and easy. But I'll say, like, 1 and 2, going through those, oh, that can be a little brutal. Though, admittedly, when you get out of the dungeon and when you get out of the caves in 2, and it's all just relaxed and chill, you know, because you don't have a time limit. This is a remake of a previous stage seen on your Maker ideas. You ever tried hay? What do you mean hay? Like a horse? Fuck! Oh, hey, Pikmin on the 3DS. No, I didn't get that one. It looked, it didn't look, I didn't look like I would have liked it. I will say I did try, Pikmin Walk, Pikmin Bloom. I did try that one. But, despite being, I like a walk. I like a walk, but I found that, Pikmin Bloom was just a little bit too much. A little bit too much for a walk. I like a walk where I'm just sort of focused on, like, you know, either my podcast or just looking around nature and shit and looking at a tree. That's more what I want from a walk than just tapping at my phone every 12 seconds, you know? I heard it's a level based Metroidvania. Huh. I think it's 2D. I think it's 2D. I'll tell you, I didn't hear much buzz about that one. About Hey Pikmin. It almost... you know, if you asked me what it was, I would have said, like, oh, I feel like it's one of those games that has, like, a voice command thing. Even though I don't think the 3DS really had voice command games, like, in the way that, like, the GameCube had. I hope I'll be able to go back there because I wasn't able to get the thing. I don't think there was, like, you know, voice command games in the same way that, like, the GameCube had. I guess it's because of, like, Hey Pikachu that I think, okay, here's a repeating checkpoint. Wait, fuck. We probably wanted to save that one. You know what? I'm gonna undo that so that we save that one for last. We want to save that one for last so that we can, you know, get it last. And I'll tell you, by the way, how this works as far as the lightning round rules go. If we make progress and save it, we're allowed to refresh our lives. If we don't make progress and we just, like, hit the flags just for fun, that doesn't do shit. We have to make progress in order to do it. What? I think we just have to jump every time it gets low. Is this a survival? No, it's a... Well, maybe we don't have to jump. I don't want to risk it. Okay. The red coin you have to go back as the result of hitting the off. Yeah, I think when I hit the on-off, I can now go back. That's right. So we can't just refresh without getting progress, is what I'm saying. I will say, by the way, I talked earlier about channel point stuff. I am very tempted to set up that VTuber, not the VTuber thing, but just the thing that like sets that sends like an object at my face when y'all do channel points. I think that'd be fun to fuck with. I'm not sure if it'll be like the thing we do forever and ever, but I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun to enable, at least for a stream or two. And who knows, maybe I can make it so that it like jitters my, maybe I can set it up so that usually what VTubers do is when it get hits, it like jostles their portrait a little bit. Turns out you gotta jump. There's a Starman section under an on-off switch. Okay. We'll get this coin and we'll refresh, and that'll work. This is not so hard. I mean, I'm assuming that you can just get back from here. Also, I'm assuming that I would not die. Maybe that was a bold presumption. Thank you for the level, bingo. We'll have to beat that one at another time, such as the lightning round. That was our last try, you know. Thank you, thank you. I think over this weekend I'll try to set up some new channel point things if I find time for, maybe on like Sunday or something. Maybe I'll accept the Marvel thing and I'll do like a Marvel Snap stream on Sunday, like a short one, and then we'll do another on Thursday. Or maybe like another one on like another day, actually. I could just mix those in addition. Maybe like 2-hour streams, both of them. You have to do like 4 hours for that thing. For that sponsorship, that thing. Assuming we do it. You know. I was talking about this earlier, that there's like Marvel Snap is offering like it's just offering like random streamers of any size like the opportunity to do like some promotion for their thing, and if you get people to sign up using a code or something, you can get like some money. And also you have to do like 4 hours of streaming. You have to use their bots, their overlay, and that sounds pretty good to me because I already love Marvel Snap, and also I feel like I've been trying to get people to play it for the last 6 months, you know, by talking about it now and again on stream. Militant Mom, you are the last person here. Let's go ahead and punch in the code. And again, if y'all have any ideas for like channel point things, say so in chat. Say so on the Discord. Get at me. The one thing I wouldn't suggest is like going through Twitter, though I do occasionally open up Twitter. I don't know if I would see your reply or like an @ as like, you know, I would have saw that back in the day if y'all added me on Twitter, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Oh, I'm a little disoriented here. This is the bus. This is school bus. Frog. Door. Frog go in door. Frog jump on P. That's cool. I always like the P block thing, where you have to jump as soon as you land on the P block. That's a cool, hard mechanic. I don't do that. I should probably do something with that, shouldn't I? I should probably have jumping on P blocks that are like one use only. Oh shit, I got beep. I lost this frog. Is that... There's no other frog suit, is there? Oh, nope. There's a frog suit right there. Okay, cool. I should do something with P-block jumps in one of my last levels. I gotta write that down. That's a good idea. Maybe the dark level will also be a P-block jump level. And maybe when you jump on a P-block, it'll give you some light for a second. So you'll have to, like, use the P-blocks to, like, get you, to, like, see ahead for a second. That'll be, like, the 4th level of the last world. Why not make a 2D collectathon sometime, Big Bo? I don't think it has a place in this final world on my super world. But I wouldn't mind making such a level. I'll tell you, I like to make levels that are, like, shorter, right? Music. They're like, if I have a clear condition, I like them to be short levels. But, you know, such a thing does make sense, and I have done... I will say, as far as collectathon stuff goes, I do have one level that, where you have to find 5 red coins. Is that close enough? Or you have to go through, like, one level, or you have to go, like, through 5 rooms, each of which has 1 coin in it, and there's a repeating checkpoint. Does that count as a collectathon level? Fuck, that nearly... Fucking... 2 shell jumps in a row, and yet neither of them actually got us the thing. It's close enough? Okay, good. Okay, we've met the quota for the super world. But yeah, I'm gonna write that down. In fact, let me do so right now. Thank you for level, Militant Mom. That's a pretty good name for a Twitch name. I bet you got that very early, Militant Mom. I bet you got that, like, I would have to guess you got that years ago. Otherwise, you know, that being a very common phrase, that would have been scooped up long, long ago. I'm gonna put in Derelict. I'm gonna put, P jump block jumps. Where you have to jump off right after landing or take damage. The one thing about that is that it limits the use of, like, regular coins. You know, if P switches are always going to be on. But maybe that level will just be like we'll just always have the P switches be on. If you're just going through it in that way. I mean, unavoidable, right? If you're doing P switch jumps, they'll always just about be on. So maybe we could just use, like, bricks instead of coins, basically. Or it could just be, like, set up such that, you know, on screen there's always someone resetting the P-switch. Nah, that doesn't work. You can't do that for the whole level. Maybe for, like, a single screen level, but not for a whole big thing. Folks, that was the last level of the night. Thank y'all for getting those in. I appreciated them. Let me go ahead and hit complete on that last one. And let me get the Mario Maker UI small. That's gonna do it for tonight. I will be back for sure on, let me pull up the schedule. There it is. I'll be back for sure on Monday around 6 p.m. Central for Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 all at once. Hello, Oriens, Alex. We're wrapping up now. I'm just about done. I'm giving my ending spiel right now. I oftentimes would open a level up for someone who was brand new and came in and had a level to do. But I already started my ending spiel. I'm about to pick a raid target. Thanks for stopping by and for hanging out. I hope you'll come again another time. Mario Maker streams every Friday, 6 p.m. Central, for a few hours there. like 2 or 3 maybe, depends on the night. Pikmin 1, 2, and 3, switching between them every 3 in-game days. On Mondays, that'll be the next stream, unless I end up doing like a Sunday stream or something. To be determined. It's possible. Keep an eye on the Discord, keep an eye on Twitch notifications for more details about that if we end up doing something like that. That's been going well. Starting next stream for the Pikmin, we'll just be doing like 1 of each. 3 days of each per stream, and that'll be it. Once around the horn, rather than trying to do more. Because it turns out, you can't really do more with and have it, like, take the time. If I do more, it takes more time. And it takes too much time for a Monday night, it turns out, to do, like, Pikmin 2 twice, let's say. I don't know what we'll do next Thursday. We'll think about it. You know, might have plans by Monday. Might not. We'll see. That's sort of my impromptu day. Let me see who's streaming right now. Chester Town is streaming, but it looks like Chester is away from keyboard. So let's go with someone else then. How about, whoops. I'm looking at live, not, the raid thing. Let me do the raid alert. See you next week. Yeah, I'll see you next week, Lord Bowser. Let me find a raid target. Games Done Quick is doing a Disneyland Adventures co-op thing. That's not the real GDQ, though. It's like the big event. Let's go with something else. Let me see now. Elevator is doing, Monster Hunter. Bayleaf is doing... What is that? I don't know what that is. Phantom is doing some, a Battle Network. That's cool. Oh wait, I see, Chester Town in. Let's go with, there's actually a lot of people streaming. Let's go with Donkey. I've watched a few videos of donkeys often enough. I've never seen, I don't know, like, do I follow Donkey on Twitch? I'm not sure if I even do that. I see Donkey online in the raid channel thing, and I liked some of his videos before. Let's raid him. I don't know if he has a raid alert for this many people coming in. You know, he's a big streamer and all, but that sounds fun to me. Let's do that. I will see y'all on Monday for more Pikmin, for Pikmin 1, 2, and 3, continuing from where we left off. And if you're looking for Mario Maker, that'll be on Friday. Something will be on Thursday, I don't know. And I might do like a Marvel Snap stream on Sunday, maybe, if I feel like it. And if it makes sense. Maybe it'll also be like testing the tech for like some new channel point stuff as well. I will see y'all then, whenever that is. Monday, Sunday, Friday. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later. Bye, folks.